Oh, hello. Where? Oh, I didn't have my transition. Wow. Didn't even give me a second thought. Okay, welcome everyone to Assembly. Oh, just cut out some background noise. Welcome to Assembly. This is the event. Every Monday we get together and code a SC2 AI that wins together. And I'm Drekken, your host, and I'm excited here to be coding because I'm hoping this is the second to last of this month of this particular challenge that we're working together, which is pathfinding. But as always, before we start, when it comes to assembly and mob program, let's do a little quick review of what we're doing. Okay, so mob programming. How does it work? What is it? What is this mob program? So similar to pair program, well, it is pair programming, just with an extra step of more people. So driver, navigator, and the mob. The mob is you. You are the mob. Can I? Nope, cannot. Just click and it won't work. Okay. So benefits of mob programming: increased code quality because we're kind of coding together. You know, you're gonna have a couple people look over it. It feels a lot more hands-on. Levels up. Everyone kind of levels up together, especially if you have people who are more experienced than you. And with me, there's always a lot of people more experienced than me. Shared code, it's not my code, it's not your code, it's our code. It's more of a collaborative code base than just in pure ownership. And there's no really need for code review because you got a lot of eyes on your code. So here we go. Okay, a couple rules, ground rules for our coding session here together. Well, actually, double check my audio looks a little loud, so I'm just gonna make sure it's not killing ears of people. Test. Okay, that looks better. Cool. Where was I? Okay. Rules of the road. Driver. So the driver's the only one coding. Navigator does the reviewing, kind of decides where we're going, make sure we're going the right direction. Navigator is not doing same backseat coding. 15-minute rotations, 10-minute breaks, which we really should do better. And I like to always leave with code working. That's a personal thing. These two are actually my last two personal additions to these kind of rules. Always leave code working. And then the last one, no judgment. We're at different levels. I'm at a certain level, definitely usually lower than the others around me, but no judge. You know, we're all kind of here to help each other out, and we're all here kind of learning, coding, making AI bots together. So leave that somewhere else. You know, sometimes it seems like someone should know something or should know something. We don't know any of these shoulds, right? Everyone's open to learn. We're all learning. We're here together. Okay. I think that's really it. We can kind of get into this, what's been on the docket. So what we've been working on, and I'll see if any of our people I've reached out to have shown up. If not, it's fine. What we've been working on as of late is a coding challenge. I've been building these coding challenges. I've been building them from scratch, and they are. I'm kind of test running them. You know, don't know if they work. So first of all, if you remember correctly, last week we finished the other one, which was to get the probe blindly into a position of which it can win by getting to the beacon. And so I kind of did some pathfinding to find a location that I didn't understand or didn't know. This time we have and maybe I'll show you. It might be easier for me to show it to you. I don't recall if I actually turned off Fog of War. Oh, okay. So this will be, you guys are going to get a second to see. You're going to see the one that we did last time. So you get a quick reminder. Okay. And so what we did was we built an algorithm, myself and Doug Tato. I built a algorithm that helped the bot probe find its location. Once this loads up, you'll get the chance to see. This time I turned off, based off the feedback he gave me, was turned off the Fog of War. Okay, so you can see now. Oh, it's going. So it's going to be going around looking for its location, which is this. It's going to be looking for this this icon here. So that's its primary goal, which it's popping in, trying to get to. We solved this, so we're not going to spend any time on this. The second part of this, and I'm pretty proud of this. I first thought I was going to make it into 3 parts, but it actually was a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to keep it 2 parts because that's healthier on my time and healthy on everything else. So I'm going to actually change the map to number 1, which is the second level. And this version actually adds the added challenges of enemies. So we'll see. I don't remember if I turned off the fog of war, but if the fog of war is off, as it should be, what you'll end up seeing is the probe will have to find its location, which this time is going to be at the starting location. So it's easier for the individual doing this challenge. You just have to get to the starting location of the enemy, but there are enemies along the way. So, okay, so good. The fog of war is off. So let's see. So this time, you guys are watching, you see, there's enemies along the way. We'll see. Okay, so we got a probe who's doing the pathfinding this time. And so you got to do the same thing. You do the same thing, but you don't want it. You have to now, you're going to have to kind of put some sort of influence on there, or at least that's what you can solve it multiple ways. I believe influence is going to be like the chief way. You like an influence map, and your probe will have to take influence into consideration, and if you don't, then it'll die. So like let's watch this one, and if this little probe does not take influence into account, it will die, or it should die. Like, I don't anticipate it not surviving a Marine, but let's see. Let's see what happens. Here it is, the first one. Bam. See? Okay. So this second part, you're gonna have to take the enemy into there's enemies on the map into consideration, and kind of proud of that. I built this with my limited knowledge in the map editor, but yeah, that's it. That's it. So we're going to try it today. We're going to work together, and we're going to work together to get this probe to the end. Now, I don't think fog of war necessarily is necessary for this. Like, I should have turned it off. That was for my own personal debug, but and I will most likely turn it off. Actually, does a probe have enough vision? Hi, Dyson. Hello, Dyson. How are you? I don't remember if a probe has the enough vision range more than a Marine. We'll go under the assumption that their vision range is the same. All right. And that means we are not going to necessarily, if I turn on fog of war, it may not be unfair for this challenge to work. Okay. So we're going to get to work. I'm actually going to save this solution because I actually like this solution, and I want to. I'm going to actually, yeah, we'll copy this file, and we'll call this solution 1, and we'll copy, and we'll just make a new one. Yeah, cool. And this one will be this will be bot p. This will be like, we'll call this solution 1. Call this solution 1. And that way, if people want, when I release this challenge to others and they try it and they want to do it and they like, oh, I'm stuck. Well, here's a solution. Oops. I'm going to call this solution 1. Or maybe solution 0 because the map is solution. Yeah, we'll call it solution 0. Okay. So there are Marines, and I'll tinker with the Marines. I'm going to release this actually to the members as for beta. So yeah, Dyson says Probe has 8 and Marine has 9. So it may be probably keep the fog of war off. And just for the purposes of this, I think it's maybe a little healthier to keep the fog of war off, and then that way, just so is visible is fine. I guess if I really wanted to mimic a real life scenario, fog of war should be on, but this is supposed to be an easier challenge. Maybe the harder version of this challenge is with the fog of war off, and the units spawn in random places. I don't know. Let's do this one today, and then if you have ideas of how we can make this a bit harder without a lot more work on me, we'll do that. So let's get the music up. Okay, yeah, good. Music's at a nice volume, and let's get started. Get some water up in here. I'm feeling pretty dry. Okay. So the first part of this is gonna probably be creating an influence map, I would say. Like, that's how I personally would like to solve this, by creating an influence map, and then, I just realized, can I create a raw influence map? And then we'll just say, like, give enemies of the enemies an influence of 2, and then in our pathfinding change it so that if you see 2, you like avoid it, and then that maybe should be it. Like, I feel like that could be a 2-step process. Sounds simple, but it's not easy. And then what we could do is we could just create an influence map. That influence map will have, you'll add influence to the units on that map. And then, just to keep it simple, because I'm pretty sure the influence currently is only one's pathable. So right now it's only pathable and non-pathable, which is 1 and 0. 0 being pathable, 1 being non-pathable. So let me refresh. This is a good time to refresh. I'm gonna pull up some documentation and of creating influence maps. Because even though I did just create an influence map, I did that using the Eris framework. So I have not done an influence map. Now, the SC2 map analyzer is installed in here, but I've never created one that was just straight up non-Eris. So I'm gonna quickly pull up some documentation, and I'll show you the documentation too. We'll kind of explore documentation together. I won't be greedy here. Let's see, SC2 map analysis. We'll pull up the documentation together and we'll kind of go over it, because I have not personally, I've made, like I said, I've only made an influence map for Eris framework, but not a non-Eris framework influence map. And I'm okay too. I'll probably use AI to, let's see if I can just share this with you guys so we can see that together. Browser. That's not the right browser. Okay, let's see if we can see this together. Turn on. Okay. Okay, so this is the map analyzer. And so we're gonna have to see. Actually, I don't know if this actually shows. This is just pathfinding. Oh, building a grid. Here we go. These are for like, okay, so you can make different types of grids. So you can make a grid to say, oh, okay. All right. So it's kind of like a similar version of what I did with Aries, where you can just build a grid for different things. And so this one could be, I don't really understand so self equals data, cost, how much the cost the pather is going to walk through, and the weight array. So we can add a different weight. Optimal cost will be 1. Worst would be for non-pathable cells. You should keep that in mind if you want to create a complex influence map with different weights. Be sure to check out DummyBot for an example. Let's check out DummyBot for an example. I'm a big fan of just building from examples because I think I can. It's a little easier for me. Let's see if we can find DummyBot. Where is DummyBot actually? Now that I think about it. If we can if I just put this, will you guys be able to see it? Okay, so DummyBot. What does this DummyBot have in here? We can pull some F reference from it. Random points, get influence, so get random influence. So you just created like a get random influence. So for in range append, I don't see actually where they assigned influence. So this is the drawing of the box. Or is it on step? I don't know if you'd want to build influence on step. This is okay. So this is how he assessed it. It's if path. So this is a pathable influence, but where did you design a grid? Let's see, did you bring a grid in? So self.influence grid equals none. Oh, maybe there's one already built inside. That might be good. So let's initialize. We'll start. Self.influence. Is there an import for influence grid? Do we got influence grid in here? Is there already an import? So this is just map analyzer, map data. Oh, this is a blank one. So I know this. This is when you get. This is how you get a blank one. So you do an initialization. Okay, so you can initialize it. We'll go. Is it as a numpy array? Does that mean I need to bring in? Okay, numpy's already in. So self-influence grid numpy equals none. And then on start, we'll initialize. Oh, I just realized my map is covering my code. Or I mean the documentation. Let's see how I can fix this in a way that allows you to still see what I'm looking at. So I realize I'm still, let's pop it in here. Okay, let's see if we can get the code going on at the same time. Okay, so influence grid equals none. And then on start, we'll set up a, where do we want to keep this clean around here? Let's put it here and just go. Nope, sorry. Let's put it here on start. On start. Oh my god, right here. So, oh, here we go. We already did one. We already got a grid here. And then, so we already took a fresh grid. And then we use that grid to pop it in so that we could find the location piece by piece, and we checked. Should I create a new grid then? Can I create grid 2? Like a different grid. We'll call this grid like influence grid. We'll say next time I'll call that one. I'll maybe rename that to path grid. We'll say influence grid equals numpy equals. We'll just make this an empty one. So self.map data pi star. I don't know why it's suggesting indestructible rocks, but it's fine. We'll just get a brand new one. And then if we were to say, how did they mess around with this influence grid? So this one, I see. So what he did was here, he used it specifically to temp around, like giving the values to, so what he did was he goes, okay, each unit, the top of the ramps, where do you assign the influence though? Random influence? What is random influence? He just kind of just made a random, and just assigned it random influence. Interesting. Okay. That's not the worst. So maybe we can say something like, I don't know, units in it will be, if enemy unit, self.enemy unit equals what? I don't know. How do you set influence in the thing? So you go like, if you just set it to 1, maybe to 1. So you don't want to set it too high, if I understand it. You might want to, like, if you want to set it to maybe 1. So let's say, how can we do this? So we're like, is this on step? It's on start. And then he sets it again on step. So then we can go something like, we'll do a little bit of commenting. We'll be like, okay, oh my God. Let's go add influence of 1 to enemy units. Then we'll say, you know what, let's ask it. So we'll say something like, add, is 1 a good, so I don't think you don't want to put too high of a range, I think. So let's say 1. I don't know if they actually interfere with each other. So add 1 to the influence grid for enemy units. See what it comes up with. For enemy unit in self.enemy units, self-influence grid +1. That sounds about right. Actually, is that right? No, that's not right at all. That's not right. You want to keep it as a list. I think you want to keep like a or dictionary. Yeah, you don't want to do it like that. That's not. You would have to go self.influence Hey, SC2, SC Brood, SC2. So you go influence grid. So actually the other, in the example, how did he do it? Influence grid. Is it a tuple? Is that what he did? This is how he uses as a path finds, but I want to be able to add. I want to add points to. If I go down. So I want to be able to add influence. Yeah, I remember Phoenix. I know. We got our DMs going. We got our DMs going. Okay. Okay. Looks like Dog Tato, how are you not in this chat with me? It looks like map data has a add cost function. Okay, so that is how we add the cost. Did he not use that here? Yeah, so self.mapData add cost p equals, so maybe he just did it here. Why is it commented it out though? Uncomment this block to add random cost to make, oh, I see. Does this have to be, is this in a function? No. So you maybe just go grid equals self.pi* equals 1060, the center of the point of which to add cost grid. But this is to add influence to units. So I'm trying to do influence on the units. Did we do that? Did we actually add cost? We didn't add cost. No, we didn't do costs. Okay, so that's good that this is something new. So you actually do the function instead. So you would do self.mapData dot add cost. Oh, 100 to 100. What's the 100 to 100? You did 100 to 60, but I actually don't know the difference. This is why I'm doing this, so I understand it. You could iterate over the units and add cost for each. I like that idea. That's actually a much better idea. I'd like to actually go over, so maybe go add cost, and for each enemy unit, add one, weight one. How would you do that? Maybe if we can do add cost and I can get like a little bit of how it works. So Brood, what we're doing is actually adding influence. So I'll do a quick, let me just comment this out so it doesn't crash. You can see. So you would use unit position instead. Okay, so okay, interesting. We got it. That makes a lot of sense. With radius of their attack distance. Dog Tato, come into the Discord with me, into voice, so we can work on this together. Okay, while this is going, I'll give you an idea what we're working on, Phoenix, so that you can see. Ha! That's fantastic. That means these sessions are working. I was always hoping to influence, like I want people to. Okay, so what you can see is this is what we did last time. Now we have enemy units. So now we need to have these enemy units, and these enemy units we have to get around them, right? We have the pathfinding, and so we need this this probe not to get killed when it tries to go. So we'll have to avoid enemy units. So just a little, it's just an additional challenge to the original one where you, you know, we just did pathfinding and you just kind of, yeah, I don't know why you do it by hand. That sounds exhausting. No hand, there's no by hand here. So anyways, this is what we did last week. And it was successful because it went up to here. That was what it is. But now I added enemy units. So you can't now just walk. You have to get it to avoid areas where there are enemies. You can't just go there. Okay. So let's talk about adding influence. Let's talk about adding influence. Where were we? There's a lot of stuff to, so I just like last week by hand, it was difficult. So it wants to consider the range of the unit, its movement speed or versus your movement speed or whatever the other ways you want to consider. No, we just kept it simple. It just needs to avoid areas of the pathing that has enemy units. So it probably does need to consider the enemy's range. Like, I think that would be best to tell it to avoid enemies, so keep away from them. So this is broken into two parts. A, we need to have an influence grid. So we need to have a grid. Then the second part, we need to tell the probe in how it's currently doing things to avoid any square that is in the influence of the enemy. And I guess we should technically include a radius, like Dog Tato said, and that radius should actually be the radius of the enemy's range. Not just the enemy itself, but the enemy's vision range. And actually, I'm pretty sure the API actually contains enemy, like you can get the enemy attack range, if I recall correctly. So you should be able to tell it to avoid the enemies. Like you should be able to add influence, not just to the enemy itself, but a radius equivalency to the enemy's attack range, which should do what we need to do. So let's kind of work this out. Where were we? Okay, so we're adding influence here. So add cost. Actually, maybe, yeah, that's what I thought. It does have attack range. So that plan sounds sound to me. Also, while I have you all here, tomorrow goes my tomorrow I release the next letter of the next newsletter where I talk about which I have is called README. It's called Versus AI README, where I essentially put together actionable clips of tips. I go around and I get some stuff from around the community, some of the useful codes, and this tomorrow will be Dijkstra. Pulled up a bot that has Dijkstra, and so you can kind of see his code and get some inspiration there. So, and I'll also be talking about some of the stuff I've learned using pathing and oh my god, and influence and pathing. So I got a little write-up going. This goes out tomorrow, and so if you want to catch that write-up, get it straight to your inbox. Of course, it will be on the website somewhere eventually. Okay, and then tomorrow, actually I'm going on a trip tomorrow, so hopefully we can get all that done before I leave on my trip. Okay, let's kind of do this. There's a lot of stuff here. Unit dot ground range. Perfect. I love it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take what Dog Tato had said. I like the idea of grid. So grid equals gets So we actually, if we went like self.influence grid, maybe we'll, so maybe we can actually just go like this and go self.influence grid equals, we'll actually steal And I'm say lightly steal. I'm not actually stealing. I liked what Dog Tato wrote. I think that could be really cool to use. So equals da 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 da. Why did you put the P though? Is that part of the? Was that not last, or was that a typo? Quickly, let's. What was it? Where's that? Whoops! Where is the example? How does the add cost go? Yeah, it's from the doc. So actually I'm curious, how does the add cost work? It removed the new lines. Actually, because if you go instead, is there documentation? Oh, of course, there's documentation. So I'm just gonna quickly pop up this documentation and see if I can just get a little bit of a primer on the add cost function. Building a grid. Pathing or plotting our custom costs. Here we go. Add costs. Will this give me additional information? Here we go. We'll add costs to our circle-shaped area with the center position and radius. So the radius, we can actually put that as the radius of the attack position, which is juicy. I love it. I love it. There's actually, so find lowest cost points. Okay, that's actually something we can use in something else, perhaps. So add cost, self position equals tuple, float, radius, grid, which is an array. Okay, so we actually need to create the grid, and then we can do the add costs. True initial default weight 0. So maybe what we would do something like, so we'll initialize an initial grid. And then maybe what we'll do, can we just then, after we initial a grid, can we just add influence on, we'd have to do on, we'd have to do the influence on step. Oh yeah, I don't know why, what gets filtered here in the chat. It might think, let me see if I can actually give you, like, say that you're a regular, and maybe it won't try to filter you. Nope, that is not the case. It will not do that. But I am going to set since I'm actually playing around with this, since I'm streaming for 1 more hour, I'm going to quickly put like put a little, I don't know what this, I saw a super chat goal. I'll toss it in there. Okay, so we can do add costs. I'm gonna read over what Dog Tato said. We'll play around. I don't mind doing a little bit of trial and error. Never quite knows what will get filtered. .add cost is called on the self.map object, I think. Yeah, I think that's what you are correct. Because you have to go self.map.object. But do you just go something like this? Is it actually doing like what it just suggests? Self.map add costs influence. It has to be more than this. So you have to do the position. And then you have to say the grid. So the position, do I have to be explicit? Do I have to go like position equals self dot enemy units? I think I have to do this on start. No, I mean on step. I don't think it's going to be good on start. Let's move this actually on step, because I feel like I just need to initialize the initial grid on start, and then on step it makes the most sense. I actually put a little area for my grid stuff. So let's say, no, actually put this at the very top. So you're just gonna want to have this kind of at the start of here. Whoops. So let's say, add influence of 1 to enemy units. Map data equals self dot position enemy units. What else can we put in here? The radius. Yeah, I agree. I think it's you pass a grid to it and you modify it. So you'll have to. It's in here. I think we got this here. So it's the position of the enemy units. We'll do radius. Radius equals self dot enemy units ground. Is it ground weapon? Ground range? Why is that not lighting up? I don't like when something doesn't light up. It makes me feel. Oh, did I not import? Do I have to import? Do I need to import? No, I imported unit and units and unit type ID. I did all these imports. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we'll, let me turn off this. Ground range is on unit and not units. Oh, good catch. So I might have to do loop, right? It might be for every unit in units. For each unit in units. Might have to loop over it. Would you loop over it? We'd be like for unit in unit, add unit dot. Okay, maybe we'll try a loop. I think. So it might be like, yeah, you'd have to loop over it. I think you'd be like for unit in enemy units. And then you'd be like self da 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 da, position of the unit, the ground range. All right, juicy, 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 juicy. We're cooking. Okay, I'm gonna turn off this browser because I think we kind of got it. I feel like we kind of got it. What else can we add to here? So radius, we need to add the grid. So map data equals cost, position. So position, radius, and then we'll go grid equals influence grid. That's right. Weight. Actually, let's give it 2. Let's say 2, just in case, because I think non-pathable is 1. Non-pathable is 1, and pathable is 0. So just give it 2. Guess you can just give it you could probably give it a random influence, but whatever. Okay, and then the weight is 2. Initial default weight. We'll add to a circle shaped area with a center position and radius weight of 100. But when safe, the pather will not adjust illegal values below 1. Could result in a crash. Okay, we're not adjusting below 1, so it's okay. We're gonna give it, maybe we should just give it 100, I guess. Just give it a default weight of 100. Maybe don't put any weight and it'll automatically give it a weight. Whatever, I'll just say 10. Okay. And then what we want to do is we kind of want to print out. I'd like to actually print out this influence map so that that I can see it so we know it's working. Oh shit, I just realized this is on my... This is the one I was trying to keep as a as a archive. Okay, so let's try this again. So this will be... So actually we're gonna change this to... We'll call this solution 1. And this is actually going to go back to being bot.py, mainly because I just want to keep a version of the old one, and then we're going to actually work from bot.py. Okay, so I actually would like to print the influence. So let's see, how can we do that? We'll just use like the same print statement we used before, which showed drawing the drawing the thing. But we just want to print out the number, like a debug. Can we do like a debug printing of the influence? Okay, so then we'll say print influence grid when enemy units are visible. Influence grid weight. What's gonna be the best way to put this? No, not if found secret location, you silly computer. If unit self dot enemy units how does this work? Maybe I have to pull up the actual pull up the actual thing again. Because I know how to print like the other stuff out, but I wanted to print the actual influence. Can I just print out a grid? I don't see how you print out this grid. Because I just want to... Sorry, I just got a notification that I have to check in for my flight. Okay. Okay, well, I don't really know how to print it out. Actually, you know what? I can ask my AI in a sec. We'll do that in a sec. We'll just make sure if it at least loads without crashing. That's a good sign. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, goodness. Whew. And then if you didn't know, I also put together a bot building toolkit, like a basically starter kit if you're just getting started. It's actually on a post here on the YouTube channel, so you can find it. I don't have a direct link, but I'll be posting it in the newsletter shortly. I mean tomorrow. Sorry, it comes out tomorrow. Okay, let's see how this turns out. Okay, crashed. What's this? What's this? Okay, cost self. It didn't. I guess it didn't like that. Snap. I should actually say if enemy unit, if self dot enemy units. There we go. Yeah, links are disabled in chat. I don't like it's I think that's by natural. I think if you're a channel member, it lets you do it, but I don't know how to set it up to be if you're not a channel member. It's to protect from like random people posting like scam links in the chat. YouTube just assumes that if you're a channel member, you wouldn't post scam links. So, you know, I guess that makes sense. Oh, it still crashed. Oh. That's weird. Why did it still crash? It shouldn't even... Yeah, it shouldn't even do that. It should be like, if enemy units is visible. Is visible. If self-enemy units, if they're self-enemy units, I think they should be fine though, because it's like it's a good thing to. Well, okay, let's see what it's saying. Oh, I got a DM. Yeah, I see the pathing. Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier that Marine has 9. And the probe has 8. I can't remember. Or it's the other way around. But yeah, what's going on here? So path or add cost. Tuple draw circle position. Oh. Unit dot position. Maybe you might like that better. Let's try that. And if that works, we're going to want to draw a circle around it. I mean, we're going to want to hopefully figure out how to paint the influence so we can see the influence in action. And if we do that, that will be a good stopping point for today. Oh, it's moving. Okay. So it's not crashing. That's good news. But we are not getting any influence printed. So that's not bad. That's okay. So I'm going to ask AI. So we're going to show you guys a little bit of a, I don't consider it a cheat code. You should use all the tools available to you. So I've been loving this agentic coder. So let's say, hey, and I always like to talk to my AIs like we're friends. Hey, currently working on a path finding problem. Got to give it context. Path finding problem using influence grid for my SC2 bot. I need to get the probe to a location without taking or without being killed by enemy units scattered around the map. Already built an influence map in where's my influence map? In self dot influence grid. What else do we want to tell it? The plan is to grid, which adds 10 influence to enemy units that are visible. And then, so I want to print out the influence. So I want to print out the influence when, because you don't want to print it out all the time. Because I think if you print out influence all the time, it'll just slow down the game. So you maybe just only print out the influence. Influence to debug when an enemy is visible. Let's put this on chat. I'll do it myself. I just want to kind of get the idea from this AI. See what it thinks of. I propose adding a debug print inside your print pathfinding.probe on step function on whatever, assuming they stored something like enemy units. Inside step, check if there are enemy units, if the enemy units exist. So I can actually do it in this one. So I'll actually print it in here if enemy units. So it's the same here. Print a message with the enemy's coordinates and their corresponding influence value. I don't think that's not what I don't think that's what you want to do, because there's definitely a way to print out. There's like a debug, self.draw points, and I just don't remember it. What is it? Where you can get it to draw the influence map. Maybe I'll pull up my other bot in a different window, because I did it there. I just do a new window without closing this one. Yeah, and unfortunately you guys cannot see it, but I just want to do a quick peek, because fortunately, as powerful as this AI is, it does not seem to know exactly. But kudos for it for trying. I'll give it oh, I had it because it was the Eris framework has the ability to print the influence. Print the influence grid. No, I totally printed my own though. Sorry guys, I'm just quickly trying to figure out how to print out the influence so that I can see it here. On step. Is that going to drop? Because it's not the, I don't want a box around it. I just want to, usually you would put the number in each one. Is that not how that works? Is, maybe it is Dropbox. Draw? Oh, here it is. Oh, maybe I don't have that. Huh. I thought I had it. Maybe Rasper told me. You know what? Rasper did tell me. Give me half a second, guys. I'm gonna pull out the how Rasper told me exactly how to do this. And I think you're right, Dog Shadow, but I don't remember. So why I do these things. It's a good refresher. It's a good refresher. Sorry, I can't show you my totally cannot show you my DMs. That would not be ideal. Oh, found it. I think Dog Tato might have been right. Wait. So the map data actually has it. So I found it. So it's something like this. So we'll go like, I think we just put it in the if statement. I don't know if we have to go as far. So it's like, self.map data, draw influence in game, self.influence grid, lower threshold. What does this do? Oh, it's a threshold. What's the lowest threshold you want it to be? Okay, let's see this should be it. I don't think you need to loop over it. I think as long as it's in, if there's enemy units. Yeah, so it's like self.map draw. Should be that it. And yeah, self.map data, draw influence in game. See, I knew it was there. Yeah, the lower threshold means it won't draw below 1, so it's just gonna draw the 1. So this is good. We put influence at 10, so we should only be seeing the influences around the units at 10, if this is done properly. So this is exciting. All right, this is cool, super cool. I'm excited because if this is done right, we should be able to see 10s all around the individual units. And I will be super ecstatic. Whew, that's exciting. I feel good for this. Let's see what happens. Oh shit. What happened here? So I didn't like something wasn't. It doesn't like something. Something is not. It's not a fan of. Do I have to go like grid? What didn't it? It didn't like. Did I not set this? Did I not put this as an array? I did put it. Yeah, it's an numpy array. What's going on, baby? It did not like something. POS is not a type point 2 of unit. Unit.unit. Yeah, it didn't like something. It didn't like something that I did. What did you not like? Let's get our AI just to give us some. Whoops. Okay, let's let tab on 65 maybe. Yeah, it's something definitely with this. It is 65. It's 100% here. So we're gonna let this AI to actually give us their opinion on it. If it crashes again, it's gonna give an error, and then the AI will also be able to read the error because now it has access to my terminal. Which I guess in the hands of an evil AI could Probably destroy my computer. Let's see what happens though. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe we don't want it on. Wait. Only want to. Oh, do we want to bring this in? Do we want to tab it in? Is it really asking for a start location? I feel like that's not the ideal. Oh, let's go run it again. Okay, this the computer's. Oh. I don't know why I just ended up. StarCraft kind of crashed. Maybe we'll see if this. Oh, nope, it's running. Never mind. Let's see what happens. Oh, I don't know why it's running. I don't know why it's opening StarCraft like StarCraft proper. Can I tell it to stop? Yeah, okay, I can cancel. Yeah, I don't know why I just opened StarCraft. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try again. It wants to. I wonder if it is because this is a custom map and it's looking for a start location. So it says, okay, I'm gonna read. We'll try running this again. I'll run it this time. Also, welcome TFAT. If you don't think I've seen you around, so you've come to do some coding with us. I'm going to turn on my fan. It's too hot. All these lights and stuff killing me. Oh, do I need to give it a color? No, that doesn't matter. You give it the grid and then you give it the threshold. Oh, it's going now. Oh, something's wrong. Yeah. Okay, so there is something wrong around. If we're gonna say, okay, there's something wrong with this, because maybe because it's a custom map. Cannot draw influence. Start location is none. So it's trying. Well, TFAT, welcome. There is a template. If you want to get started, if you're familiar with Python. Yeah, it's not the add cost. It's the draw influence in game. I can't remember what's the exclamation mark for template again? Is it exclamation mark template? I don't remember if it's exclamation mark template or not, but let's see if I can. No, that's not it. I wish I remember all my. You know what? I'm just gonna pin this to the top. Pin message. All right, now pinned to the top of this chat is a link if you want to do your own, get your own template. I made it easy to get started template so you can get started on the bot. And if you want, at the end of that, you can get started with a Zerg bot that I added onto it for you to try. Okay, so there's something wrong with the printing. Self.draw influence. Oh, exclamation mark template does work. Perfect. Something is wrong though with the map draw influence. And that's probably because the location is none. And that's because, but there is a start location. I 100% made sure there's a start location in this. Well, TFAT, I try to make it as easy as possible for you to get started. Give it a shot. If you know Python, that bot code hopefully will be really useful for you. Crap. Caution, setting the lower threshold too low impacts performance, since most every value will be drawn. To recommend that it is set to the relevant grid default weight. So let's say lower threshold, let's set to 10. Set to 10. Yeah, it looks right. I don't understand why it's crashing. It's 100% this though. Okay, let's put it in the for loop. Actually, no. Do we need it? We don't need it to be in the for loop. Why would you? You shouldn't need to. Hold on. Let me see how I used it in my other bot. Draw. Oh, did I not use it in my own bot? Influence in game? Oh, I guess not. And that's why I couldn't find it. Well, Pablo, we did do that, and that's how we know. That's how we know it is. See, that's why we have these debugs. Start location is none. Cannot draw influence. Okay, let's look at the error again. Let's see if we can see if we can see like a bot.terrain.zbot start location. Map analyzer.p in draw influence in game. Self.debugger.draw influence in game. In draw influence in game. It's looking for bot.terrain.zbot.start location. It's looking for a start location, but we are. Did I not set this to the arcade? Is there, maybe I need to tell it something. Self.ground grid equals pi star. Can you look at the draw influence in-game function? Yeah, I can. I'm in here right now. So example, self.ground grid equals self.get pi star. And then how do you use it? Self.draw equals self.ground equals lower threshold. That one. That's it. It should really be. It should actually be. Is it? I don't know. Add cost. Yeah, it should actually really be this simple. Like it really not that. It's not that complicated of a Maybe it's the influence grid. Let's try a different influence grid. Let's test this on something else. Let's test this on a different influence grid. So let's say let's do it on our probes influence grid that was doing, what was the name of the other, what was the probes one? What was its path? It had a path influence grid. And I don't remember, where was that one? How did we do that one? Was that just called grid? Yeah, something's being passed poorly. And it might be in our actual grid itself. So I'll double check. What was the probe? How did the probe do it? Because we gave the probe its own influence grid as well. Self.mat data equals self.log levels. Debug arcade. So we turned on the arcade equals true. Do we have to pass the bot itself? We should know. Bot equals bot AI. So we have grid. Okay, so we have the grid. So maybe we can just test on this grid and see what happens. Let's test this grid. You know, just in case. And then we'll go like, you know, self dot grid. And then, oh, it's not self dot grid, is it? It's just grid. So let's say grid. And then let's say lower threshold equals 1. And then let's see if this still causes problems. So if it works here, then let's see if it works here, then we know that's something wrong with, we'll know it's something wrong with maybe the grid we're working with and how we're passing the grid to draw influence in the game. Man, here I thought I was going to eat dinner early. Oh, jeepers creepers. Okay, that crashed too. Yeah, same start location problem. So it's a grid array. If it shouldn't. Let's go grid equals grid. That shouldn't make a difference, but and this is an array. Yeah, this is an array too. Start location. So it's like bot start location. It says height equals bot dot get terrain z height dot bot at start location. And I'm wondering if let's say like on start. Oh, that shouldn't be on. That should be actually on. So let's try this again. Let's put this back here. Shift tab. Yeah, it is exactly as we thought. It's expecting there to be a start location. I wonder if we can trick it somehow. I wonder if we can just say self.start location equals Let's try something. Let's go on start, on initialization, and we'll be like, okay, self dot start location. And then we'll go like, sorry, that's start position, start location, start location. And then we'll go like on start. And then we'll try on start. We'll go like self.start location, first position. And then we'll see if that's okay. We'll see. Ooh, did not like that at fucking all. And that's probably because the probe doesn't exist. So like Dogtato says, I might have to do it on step. So let's try this. The object, the probe doesn't exist on start. What's this? Start location. It did not like that at all. Okay, so maybe we won't set it there. Yeah, I could actually go print and see what it says, but I'm pretty sure it's none. Let's find out. Eep. Eep, eep, eep. I did not like that. Okay. Is this starting game info dot start location? Append. Actually, I've never done this before. Self.game info. Start location. Player start location. Can you? Is it like player 1? Can I do that? Is this a thing? Or am I just making stuff up? What's a 0.2 Dogtato? Hmm. Let's try this. We might actually have to end it here. I actually have to get started packing stuff for my trip tomorrow, and I thought this would take up most of the time. But let's see what happens. Worst comes worst, we just put a to-do and we get started on that next time. Oh, it worked. Holy crap. It actually worked. Oh my God. Look at that, guys. Look at that. It actually worked. It's really slow. Really freaking slow, but it actually worked. Why is it in like the hundreds? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Why is it not printing it anymore? Well, it stopped printing it for some reason. Not sure why. But at least we know it works. Why is it in? But what I don't understand is why is the influence so high? So whatever reason, it stopped doing it. Not sure. Yeah, the AI also saw it too. And we did get it. Let's see what happens. Wonder why it stopped. So let's put the threshold to 10, lower threshold to 10. And also, oh, is the loop doing it like, should it be like 1? Okay, we're gonna have to kind of tinker around with this. So I guess it's just adding it constantly for each enemy unit. Wait, what do you mean get the grid on air? Where's the grid now? It's on start. Okay, let's see what happens with this. I want to see if it's actually counting up. Yeah, it's counting up. Okay, so maybe we have to look at this. It's actually doing, it's like actually adding numbers. So maybe the loop wasn't the right idea. Let's yeah, it's like adding numbers. We don't want it to do that. Is it doing for all of them? Yeah. So that's kind of right, and it's kind of wrong. So maybe we don't want it to loop. So maybe we don't need a loop. Maybe we just want to go like, it's looping, right? Maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just needed to, yeah, maybe we don't want it to loop over and over again. So we'll just go like, Oh, you're saying the grid should be fresh each step. So let's bring the grid in each time. So instead of on start, it's on step. Which means it's okay to put it as 10 again. And then let's do this. Hey, look at that. Though it is 11, interestingly enough. Cool. All right, we did it. So maybe put it 9. I don't know why it's... Maybe they have a natural... Already have a... They already have like a +1, and then you're adding onto it. I don't know why it would be... Yeah, the default value is 1, so you're adding to it. So just say 9. So we'll do 9. And then it's what we'll put for next time. We'll say, we'll just say actually, to do make draw only if visible. No, Phoenix, it's not random. We actually built a pathfinding thing, like a little pathfinding algorithm to DFS algorithm to just check locations randomly. Well, not randomly, sorry, in a pop in out in a little dictionary. And cool. Okay, I think this is good. I think I'm feeling good. This is a good place to stop. Let's commit this. I feel good to commit this. Okay, so we'll say switched maps, commit. Shit. And then solution 1 complete. Okay, so I'm also going to be giving this out to I'm going to be putting this out first to members so that they can get a chance to play around with it. And then once I've had enough people kind of debug it and they're like, oh, you know, it's not broken, and God giving me enough feedback, then I'm going to probably put it out there for others. And then we'll say, then added influence map. So this was kind of really cool because gotta play around with influence maps. Cool, and then we'll just sync these changes. Done. Fantastic. Okay, everybody. Okay. That's today. All right, so that's today's coding session. That was really fun. We got to play around with influence maps, and today was primarily around adding influence. Next week, we will be applying the influence to the probe so that it will avoid sections that have an influence of 10, being the enemies. So we'll be essentially adding that to our probe. Like I said, if you're a member, I'll be putting this out for you to give it a shot, give it a try as a challenge, part 1 and 2. You can put, if Phoenix, you can design an influence map however you want. So you for sure, it can be more than, like, you can design it. There's a big range of what you can do with influence maps. They're really fun. And actually, I would say one of the key components of being able to make a bot is influence maps. I would say if you were to learn something, if I was to say what I've come to know, that if you wanted to learn something very vital to making your bot, I would say an influence map is like a key component. I would say personally, an influence map is one of those really important things that I only really learned maybe a couple months ago, a month ago, a month and a half ago. Anyways, I'm traveling, but I still intend to stream. But my time zone, I don't know how that's going to affect me. I still want to be here, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be in Europe, so whatever time it is, Europe time, I will be here still 5:30 p.m. Eastern to stream, so I'll keep a regular schedule. That is my plan. I'm bringing my stuff with me. It's a little bit of a workcation. So hopefully I will see you guys next Monday. We'll continue. If you want to, and I'm going to put this out here, make sure if you want to subscribe to the newsletter so that you can get tips, things. Basically, I try to condense my knowledge that I've learned and from other people in the community into a bite-sized newsletter bi-weekly so that you don't have to go digging for it. So I go find all the hard stuff so you don't have to go looking, as well as I showcase some of the cool things around the SC2 AI community. So next, check it out, subscribe, become a part of that. And if you want to make your own, bot, there is a template. Get started. Really get started. It's super easy. I made it really easy for you to get started with this template. I mean, absolutely. And then if you want, you can get a hold of the one of the labs I made for starting a Zerg bot. It's on the bottom of that page. You can get it right there. And last but not least, if you're interested in joining the community, I'm looking for other experienced bot makers who want to help me build really cool stuff. We work on projects together. You get to be here in the Discord with me, building these challenges, testing these challenges, working together. We do mob programming every Monday. And then I'm going to be starting up the bot clinic for members so that you can bring your bot and get feedback from other members. So that is part of that, as well as you get access to these growing libraries of labs that I'm creating. So these challenges over time, I'm hoping to keep building them up for you. Booyakasha. So I am going to get ready. I gotta go check in onto my flight. For the rest of you, though, make sure you guys if you're up here where I am in Canada, it's snowing a lot. So hopefully you are able to get shovels out. If not, I will see you next week here on this channel. I mean, stay subscribed if you haven't. All the good stuff. I love you all. You are a fantastic crowd. I will see you soon. I need to get myself a ending screen. Note to self, everybody. Ending screen that says we're done.